Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, so I don't know why this isn't lighting like it did yesterday. Anyway, so let's go into a little bit of gardening and whatnot, and the earth and yada yada yada. So, black pill warning. We have about 40 harvests left on the planet. And for those who don't know what that means, it means we have about 40 years of like decent food supply. So we've got to start treating the soil better. We've got to start understanding that the things that we spray on the soil are not good for it. We just have to come to an understanding that if we're going to kill off nature, it will kill us back. It will kill us back, and it is fixing to do that. So you don't take on the most intelligent genius force that we have physically available to us and expect to win that battle. You just don't. You don't do it. Okay. You say, hey, let's work together on this. How can we make things better? How can we work things better? Not how can we kill everything that just annoys us. And wonder how we got this far with that mentality. Your kidneys are annoying, so they're going to go. Okay. So we need to kind of it's a whole mindset paradigm shift, and that needs to be alchemized, because there's a lot of, just like processing what's happening with the binding spells. There's a lot of things that have been done to us that no one asked us permission for. And we could get deeper into that, but I don't want to. So we're not going to. So again, having informed consent about what you're putting on the food that you grow, what you're putting on your plate as far as consuming products that you haven't read the label on. So that's one way to take your power back, is start reading the labels. What's in it? And if you can't understand what the hell, the arm length word is, Google it, look it up. They're not always bad, by the way. They're not always, just because you can't pronunciate it or it's too long doesn't make it a bad. You just need to look it up. Okay, stay informed. That's one way you take your power back. Another way is you grow your own. That's another way you take your power back. The next thing is like getting into your body and understanding what foods your body likes and what foods your body doesn't like. I am not talking about, gee, this tastes really good on my tongue right now, I think I'm going to eat the whole bag. That type of energy. Like, we all do it. We all have done it. I'm not shaming here. But the way to take your power back and get mentally clear is to start going, okay, this tastes really good on my tongue, but what's it got in it? Okay, and I'm not going to salt and sugar shame. That's not the issue here. The issue is remembering that how you feel is how you're going to show up in the world. So if you are consuming something that your body's like, oh my God, this, like, I love a cheeseburger. Don't even come for my burgers, man. But when you understand that, like, okay, I am about to go out and have a burger, I'm probably going to come home and be comatose for the rest of the night. So it's not a matter of like, I'm never eating burgers again. That's extremist thoughts. You can still hold space for the pleasures of life without being complete. I'm not going to eat a burger and then go try to take a hike, because I know how it makes my body feel. I've asked it, I've responded to it, I've paid attention to how things feel in my body. Now, if you want to eat something before you go and do some exercise without puking, I don't ever do exercise like that. I don't go so hard to the point of like puking. But I have known people who have. And that's okay. Sometimes, you know, like, even though my Venus is in Scorpio, it's in the 12th house. So, like, it's kind of there, but, like, kind of not there. Understanding that you have a system that is signifying to you constantly, all day, every day. It's signifying to you, hey, I'm feeling this way. Hey, this really irritates this. Hey, that particular scent annoys me, so it needs to get out of my environment. That particular, whatever it is on my skin, does not feel nice. I need to get it out of my environment. This is the third kidney. Okay, so whatever you put on it is going to be absorbed into the system. Whether it be just through, you know, what you use for laundry detergent, or even your sensory. Like this, I've had some sweaters that I'm like, oh, I can't do it. This isn't bad for me. I think this, because it's mostly cotton, but paying attention to those things, understanding that they have a real effect on your mental, emotional, psychological, and physiological state. And if they don't, it means you are not in tune to your body. That's just for overly sensitive people. No. No, it just means that we're connected. That just means that things are connected the way it was intended to be. Because there's some people out there that like the chafe. I know. They like the whatever it is. They like to feel that on their body because it lets them know that they're in their body. So not everybody's going to love the soft and snugglies. What? And that's fine as long as they're present in their bodies. It's just a matter of realizing what you put in, what you put on, what you have in your environment is going to have a real effect on you as a human being, on everybody, and therefore you're also a pebble that gets dropped into the pond. When you go out into the world, you are going to have an effect on people. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's it, that's all. So starting from the cellular level, what you're putting in your body is an important thing. And if it's full of shit that's going to blow up your stomach like it does to the insects who ingest it, what do you think is going to happen to your stomach over time? Okay. This, and, but the Nazi white coat said it's fine. I get it. But now we're dealing with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, for those of you who don't know. We can't eat the things we used to eat. Wheat has been so screwed with that people are being like, they can't eat it anymore. It's irritates their system to the point of like non-consumption ever again under any circumstances. We need to stop screwing with stuff and just learn to work with it. We should be spending our time, energy, and resources on how to improve Mother Nature, not obliterate her into non-existence, which is just killing us off. That's all it's doing. And, you know, making our lives a living hell while feeding a financial system that was never designed for help or healing. It was designed to keep you in a system and if you've done your human homework, you know that the people who are in charge of doing the crops and whatnot are also the people who make the pills for the cure. So, human homework. Ethical purchasing. I know not everybody's going to be in a financial state to do that, but like, try cutting some other stuff out. Whatever it is, like, think of things you don't use, like subscriptions to this, subscriptions to that. Cut them out like that. You know, get a library card and invest. You can go to the library and get movies, and you can download movies to your whatever the heck you got from the library. Get a library card. That's free. That is free. Oh. Okay. And then, Here's an idea. Let us read some books, darling, while you're at the library. Get a library book. I know. Revolutionary, don't you think? So when we're having a like budget thing, there's always fat to cut. There's always fat to cut. Okay, whether it be we're gonna dock down on this, we're not gonna have whatever it is. So what comes at we can get into gardening later. We just need to treat our soul much better than we have been. And we do need to start focusing on the fact that when we put our resources and time and attention and energy into people, places, and things that are actually doing good for us, those things grow. Like farmers markets, grown. People wanting and demanding more organic things in the store, grown. Okay, so time, attention, resources into those things. So get your local, whatever it is, farmers market schedule and get your bum there. Talk to people. That's the best way to figure out what's going on, how things are going, what's happening in the community and nature. Because they'll tell you about, oh, I ran into this problem that year and blah, 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 blah. They'll tell you everything. Like, hey, there's a fungus coming around. Whatever it is, they'll let you know. They'll help you understand it on a very real level if you just listen. They're cool people. They know what's up. Once you get connected to nature, the thing that sustains you, and you take your place in that vital ecosystem, a lot of mysterious blah 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 just dissipate. A lot of questions are answered, and you don't need to wonder anymore because you are now working in that ecosystem. You are now understanding it, and now you're a part of it. Even if you're just consuming the good food, the good stuff, the the whole plant, whatever it is, the whole animal, whatever. You're consuming something that's clean and untainted by someone's very ignorant and malfunctioning hand. So, and that's why I'm pushing heirloom seeds, because if you knew what heirloom seeds could do, you would be really upset with the agricultural community. You would be freaking livid. Out of your mind, disgusted. So purchase some heirloom seeds and smash those uppers into the ground. Like, just take the fruit or the vegetable and whatever seeds that come off of it and smash it into the ground and see what pops up next year in the garden. It's mind-blowing. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's how nature was meant to be, and the agricultural community has it's just demolished it. It's raped it. It's pillaged and thieved and broken down and just left it for dead. So that's a trigger warning also, because you're gonna have to sit with that, because it's just we have everything you need to exist on the planet, and some dingus in a white jacket's got to come along and just fuck it up. It's a huge trigger for me still. Like, why? Like, you have God, whatever you want to perceive that to be. You have God at your feet, cradling you in paradise, and you're like, I think I'm gonna kill it off. I just don't like it. It's gross. Ew. Okay. Yeah, 40 harvest seasons left, but NASA did a study and we can sustain ourselves in other ways. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. We went from sun-based to petroleum-based, and now we got to go back to, well, they are talking about making food synthetic, so people are going to become either more plasticized or they're going to become more sun-based, one or the other. Interesting. And there's a really good book called The Plant Paradox by Dr. I don't have the book next to me. I don't even see it over there on my shelf. I don't want to go hunt for it. Oh God, did I loan it out to somebody? I might have. Oops. Okay. The Plant Paradox. I'll look it up and link it if I remember. It's really interesting because out of all the plants on the planet, we're only consuming about 10% of it. Because the other 90%, not for humans. That's how small of a function we play in this ecosystem. We think we're the shit. No. 10% is a lot for humans to eat, and that 10% has to be very particularly taken care of before we can consume a lot of it. A lot of food we cannot consume raw. So you think about the produce section, right, that you walk into. The only thing that's really excluded there is things that are more medicinal. Like there's a lot of weeds and perennials. The only difference between a weed and a perennial is perspective. I think that was on one of my tea tags. But is understanding that the things that grow around you are typically the ones that you can eat. So if you have like a homestead, the weeds and whatnot, look them up. I got a crap ton of burdock growing in the back, and that's good for like everything. So, I'm not a doctor. I am not anything other than just another human. But just look it up, and then you can get it. You can get it at your local actual food store, like in the vitamin nutrient section. Really cool plant. Really cool. It's a doozy to get out of the ground though. So, and that might be like, I don't know. Does fans only like do that stuff? It's not just for, I don't know. I might start one of those things and do like a fans only thing where I can talk a little bit more freely about working with that aspect of things. I don't feel comfortable doing it here. Okay, so again, getting back to nature and your place in the ecosystem that is life, because that's going to connect you again back to yourself and then connect you to the great ethos, and it's going to make you maybe we should save that for another video. That's up there for a reason. So, people who don't have that, who don't know what that is, will just pick you out of a crowd and target you because they have no concept. They have no idea. They don't have any upbringing from it. They don't have any resources to go to. You know, they've lived in a building their entire lives with no plant growth around them, and they do not have any conception of what it is that they're seeing in you that is now triggering something in them. And so that's another thing that you need to be prepared for, is when you get deeper and deeper and deeper into connecting with nature and how it works and how it operates in the body. And I think that's why I showed up here during the winter, because it's just a little less connected for me over the winter. And when those seeds show up and the foulings show up, it's going to be really difficult to get me back on here. It's just going to be really, really difficult. So there's something that happens to you on an emotional, mental, psychological, spiritual, cellular, physical, financial abundance level, that everything starts to kind of get into, it's not even a flow. I can't even call it a flow. I don't have a word for what it's called, but there's people all over that have that same vibe where they just get it and they just know, and they're not threatened by it. They don't feel intimidated. There's no word for it. I feel like I could probably speak forever on trying to describe what it is I'm talking about. It's not an it. That's not it. It's coming to an understanding of your place in the ecosystem and being humble enough to accept it, but also courageous and brave enough to step into your power and place within it. And how you can personally make a huge impact. And that, when you know that and you walk into a room, that scares people. Because when you're in your power, it's different. It feels different. It functions different. It knows better. It does better. It feels better. And it's almost like that energy is on a consistent drive for better. A consistent frequency, energy, vibration that flows into you, and it persists. It will, and if you try to drop it, it will come knocking out of wrapping at my chamber door, darling. It won't stop. It'll keep going. It'll keep pushing you into those depths to find that. And that's what the bewitchment of the darkness is all about. That's the yin energy going, go there, go there, go there, just go there and sit. That is the draw of whatever it is, because when you engage with nature, there's a yin and a yang that comes together, and they cannot be separated. We have taken a scalpel and separated them in this paradigm, hence why they're so toxic. But you get into connection with that higher law of nature, and you see life on a completely different paradigm, a different level of existing. I don't know what it is. It's not I'm not saying it's better than everybody who isn't on that plane. I'm saying it's completely different, and you look for the better. You look for the solution. You look to do this, that, and the other thing. It has nothing to do with the belittlement of people. It has to do with your mindset. And people forget that being better, doing better, functioning better entails going into the dark. That's one of the key factors of it. And the toxic positivity community completely negates and neglects that. And that's where we get into a lot of trouble as a species. That's why we are so disconnected right now and do not understand that the very thing that we depend upon is now dying because we keep neglecting it. We keep negating it. We keep pacifying that aspect of life where we are to be connected to the ecosystem. And once we connect to that ecosystem, the ecosystem connects us together. And this is not some planetary placement, forcible energy thing. This is accessible to all beings on the planet. All beings. So like dogs, cats, horses, everybody. It's available to all of us. This is not some hierarchy of whatever the heck you think it is. It's not. You can go outside barefoot and get with nature. Ta-da! You can go and plant little seeds in a plot in a garden and interact with nature. You can go for a walk in the park and notice the leaves rustling in the trees and really appreciate the sensation that brings into your own body. That's connecting with nature. If you can't get down in the dirt, that doesn't mean you can't get with nature. You can go for a walk out in nature right now. Even if the ground is covered with snow and ice and whatever the heck, you can still go out and notice nature. That's still connecting. You're still reaching out that hand to connect. Okay. Can't express that enough. Getting involved with the moon. People shame that all the freaking time. Well, that makes you a witch and no, it makes me want to connect with my inner self and what's happening on the subconscious level of not just my life, but the people that I care about, the current that runs through their subconscious. So I can learn how to better be there with them. Not heal them, but be there in their own subconscious energies and learn how to see it without totally getting offended because they have subconscious waters just like I do. So that's the power of nature. That is where people just completely derail when it comes to understanding how vitally important it is to simply go out and notice nature. Nature. Nature? Yeah. 2 kitty cats. But this is nature. 4 cups came out. Okay? Nature. Understanding that everything in nature has a vital function. And it all connects together in a great ecosystem that we depend upon to exist on the planet. So that's my little ravey rant about connecting with nature, honoring nature, understanding nature. This isn't some sort of religious phenomenon. This is not a binding spell of any sorts. If you decide to give the middle finger to nature, nature will give you the middle finger. That's the beauty of it. All it's doing is reflecting you. And what you choose to see there is a direct reflection of yourself. Woo, trigger! Whatever you hold in your heart for nature is what you hold in your heart. Period, the end. Period, the end. Whatever you hold in your heart for nature is what you hold in your heart. You're consuming it on a daily basis. You're walking on the earth. You're eating things that grow from the earth. You're ingesting the air that's around you, which it comes from nature. But I'm inside a house. Yeah, it's still from nature. And if that's how you think, you better get some plants and cleanse your air. Okay. Then you drink the water. That's also nature. But it goes through a treatment plant. Well, you're still drinking the water. The water just didn't pop out of nowhere, out of some Nazi white coats like, hey, you need some water today? That's not how that works. It comes from a source, and the source is Gaia, is Mother, is Earth, is nature. That's how it functions. So remember that when you step outside of your little hut, darling, that we think that we are like the woo of the planet. No. Nope, we're not. So we need to hold more space and more honor and more privilege to simply being allowed to exist here and being part of the ecosystem, and try to leave things a little better than what we did before. I am not saying I want to go back to burning wood to stay warm in the winter. I just want to disclose that. Like, it's cool to learn about the old ways, but that's not where we're going. Like, I need my intermittents. I need the knowledge it provides and whatever else and all that good gravy. And I could get into candle making. I'm interested into it, but like I like smelling other people's candles. I like going out and experiencing other people's crafts and works. So no, I don't think we need to live 10 miles apart and just never see another human being as long as we live, as much as my 12th house stellium was like, maybe a couple times a year. So it's a function and a modality that needs to be merged. It needs a merging. And we need to figure that out ASAP. We need to figure out how we're not going to keep screwing ourselves off the planet. Off the planet. So, maybe that's why all this karma is being wrapped up. Oh, Lord. Okay, so that's just my life path. But maybe it can come to a coexistence of the modern and the old ways without having to bind yourself to something that you don't resonate with. You just see what everything is and you get to pick and choose. You get your little 7 of cups and you're like, I like what's in that cup. So you go choose what's in that cup. If that happens to be blood and black magic in the freaking cup, then so be it. Choose it. Not a big deal. But everybody else should be allowed to choose what they need to choose. Free-willed. Free will. Everyone should have their choice and they need to be informed. This is what's going to happen if you do this. And this is what's going to happen if you do that. This is how that's going to play out. On an energetic level. You can function your life however you want it to be. But when you put your vital life force energy into something that is outside of you, it's going to have an impact that is going to take a while to show up at your door. And you will, again, feel the residual effects of that. And that's why we need to be more in the yin and reflect upon it. So I'm not saying we get rid of the regales. Maybe they just need a revamping where the feminine, the yin energy is honored there so they can reflect upon. Maybe we should take out stoning astrologers from our holy sacred texts. Maybe we should take out that like women are to be sold like cattle when it comes to marriage. Maybe we should not do that anymore. Maybe we should start honoring the people who give birth to our offspring. Maybe that might be a better idea. I can't say for sure because I don't want anything to do with the regale system. And that's just how I operate. Some people might need that. And I think we might be on the precipice of a real opportunity to start understanding that asking people to stay suppressed